Hi guys, and thanks for watching again. Now, this is a somewhat different camera angle than I use normally for my YouTube videos, and that is because I'm going to mount 64, I believe, LEDs on this arc belonging by this piece which I made yesterday. It is the main board for the Spherical Rotation 65 or 56, I don't remember it correctly, LED globe point of view, I don't know how they call it exactly, but it is a nice thing and I want to finish it. Now, these are the LEDs. These are SMD LEDs, and they need to be mounted on the top side or on the edge of this arc, and that's the hardest part of this kit, the hardest part of soldering. Now, what I need to do is mount the LEDs so that the negative side of the LED goes over here. This is the unprinted side, and the other side is the printed side, and it's marked with two pluses over there, so that means the positive side goes over there. Now, the LEDs on the other end, this is one. I hope it is in correct focus, and by the look of it, it is. This is marked with a green triangle at the back side, and the green triangle is pointing towards one of the two edges, one of the two contacts, and it is pointing towards the negative side, so that means the arrow needs to point to this side of the arc, which would mean that if I would mount it right now, let me turn it a little bit, and I want to start with the longer side. Let me see if I can get it in camera. The longer side of the arc, because this is the top side, and I needed to mount it like this, and I believe it's a little bit out of focus right now, but let's see if I can fix it. There we go. I need to mount it like this, and then every LED, every 56, I believe, LEDs need to go on there, and it's the best effect if all the LEDs are lined up nicely, and that is the hardest part of this kit, but it is doable. So what I'm going to do, since it is lying in this position, but like I said before, I prefer to use my right hand and not my left hand. So now I'm holding this in my right hand, and for you it is probably my left, but look, it looks like my left hand because the camera is on the other side of me right now. So I need to rotate this, which would also mean that I need to rotate the LED. So there we go. Let's see if I can get it a little bit more towards the middle, the center of the camera. So this is how I need to solder it, and since I'm shaking a little bit and the light is not optimal, this is probably how I want to do it. Now it's in the exact middle, and that is pretty hard. So what I'm going to do, take my solder iron, take my solder, put a blob of solder on here, then hold it exactly the way I want, and I believe this is it, and touch it again, and now the LED, let me see if I can get that in focus. Put away my solder iron, which makes it a little bit easier. The focus will probably be a little hard. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see if I can get it on my hand. Yes, those are some cuts. I cut myself by brewing some beer, but it's very hard to get in focus. There it is. So now it is soldered on one of the two sides, so now I'm going to need to solder the other side. So I'm going to put it down. I said in range of camera it is. And just solder like I would normally. And that's it. That's the first LED done. So let me do another one. There it is. Hold it in like this, which would mean that it needs to rotate 90 degrees approximately. Let's see if I can get it a little bit more in the center of the camera. And I want it like that. So blob of solder. Oh. Try to position it. Putting away my solder iron so I can use both hands. Now it is sticking on there, which is not very nice. And there, wait, I need to start over again. And now it is also, it rotated itself. I want the arrow pointing to the negative side. This is the printed side, so this is the positive side. And that's not exactly how I want it. That is how I want it. So now it's just tacked on there, but it is in the correct position. So what I'm going to do, solder this side. Let's see if I can get it a little bit more. I'm not used to this camera angle, so forgive me if it is all bad. That one is soldered on correctly. Now I'm going to fix the other side because, like I said, it was merely touching. Oh, but well, it doesn't look that bad actually. But everything is better with fresh solder. So there it is, second LED done, and they're aligned quite nicely. So it is a little out of shape, but I don't mind. It is okay. Now, which would mean that I only need to do 54 more, and I'm not going to do them all with the camera over here because this actually stretches my neck and not very handy for me to do them all in this position. Or it is. Let me think, because I want to look very closely, which would mean that my head is blocking the line of the camera normally. So I'm actually gonna have my camera over here. I'm gonna put it like this, I'm gonna leave it like this, and I'm gonna speed it up because I think you know what I mean. And as soon as I found something I need to tell you, I'm gonna stop the speeding up and just resume the normal speed. So let's continue. Now the remaining piece over here becomes too tiny to hold firmly, so I'm going to reverse it so that I'm holding the LEDs and put the next set of LEDs in. But that would also mean that I now have to reverse the LEDs. Now I have to the arrow of the LEDs, I have to make it pointing towards me, which is very careful to, very important to remind, because if I don't do that, these remaining LEDs will not light. So here we go again. Now the LEDs are done, all 56 of them, and as you can see, it is okay-ish. It's not perfect. They're not aligned perfectly. It's somewhat wavy, but it's not bad. Not bad at all. And that's me saying about my own work. But now comes the most challenging part, is mounting this thing. Let me get it a little bit closer to the camera. On here. Now I can hold it like this and put a piece of solder on there, but that would mean that the board, this board, would either be sticking on that side or on this side, because it has a little bit space in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold a piece of paper. I've already folded it a little bit, and I want it in 3 layers of paper. Now this is probably 90 gram paper, so if you have any other paper, you probably need a different thickness. And the other side I want them 3 as well. Let's see if I can stick it in there. There we go. Now I need to align it, and that will probably get a little hard, but there we go. And let's see, is it aligned perfectly? It looks good. It looks good to me. And now there's paper on both sides. So actually, of course, because there's only paper over there, not over there, this piece of board will be a little bit closer to this side of the board instead of that side. It's not a big problem. And also I need to mind that this arc is in an exact 90 degree angle, so not this or this, but 90 degree. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have my helping hand help me. Let's see if I can find a piece of board which cannot get damaged a lot. So I'm actually gripping the IC. Not my favorite, but it will have to do. Now this is bent a little bit out of place. There we go again. Let's see if that looks good. No, does not. So I guess this will have to do. Let's make the first solder joint. Let's get the 1 millimeter. No, that's too thick. Get the 0.6 millimeter solder. Let's see, make the first joint. There we go. Is that nice? It is. And let's see if it is in an exact 90-degree angle. It is not. It's terrible. And now, of course, the solder went missing in the middle. So, and now it's bent a little bit too far. So again, that looks better. How about the alignment over there? Over there, and it's probably good. I'll make another joint to give it a little bit more, make it a little bit more steady. There we go. Now let's remove, actually not bend this and torture the IC. Get it out. Get this paper out. Let's see how it looks. Not great, not entirely happy. Put it in here again. What I'm going to try is bend it a little bit while touching the first. Now I'm making a mess. First I'm going to solder the other end. Then I'm going to bend it a little bit so that it is in the exact angle how I want it, and then I'm going to reflow those so that the tension on these solder pads is gone. So let's see if that evil plan would work. There it is. Now how does that look? Needs a little bit more. And the 90-degree angle is also good. Now I'm going to reflow those. There you go. Reflow them both at the same time, at least that's what I'm trying. And of course, in trying so, I was connecting them together, so I'm removing the excess solder over there. And let me see if I can get it on camera. There we go, there's a little bit of space in between. About the same space on all these sides, but this one is just a little closer. So yeah, that's what I was trying with the paper, to prevent this side, to prevent the cap. But by reflowing it, I probably closed the cap. So yeah, not great, but let's see if I can, if soldering this end will work, or else I will need to fix it again. Yes, it works. So I will continue soldering them all. Now there's enough solder on there for it not to get loose anymore, so I can remove this helping hand and not torture the IC anymore. Now let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna work it from this way. Yeah, and I'll probably speed it up. This is not very interesting to watch, so there we go. Now the hardest part is done, and that's the part with the largest cap, and probably the other side will have quite a cap too, but it looks better than the other side, but it is done. It looks fairly nice. This is in a 90-degree angle somewhat. But I will continue, and as you could see, I needed my solder pump because just getting in between with my solder iron was a little hard, and then just float all the parts together, which will probably happen over here. So I'm gonna work all the way to the right on all these sides. Gonna speed it up again. So there we go. Now all 4 sides are done, and it was quite hard. Sometimes they just connected to each other because some caps need quite a lot of solder to mount, so that was pretty hard, but it is done. And yeah, now it's time to get the rest of the kit together and make it running. But for now, this is the end of the second video, and in the third video I will build the kit until it's done, and the last video, part 4, will be about programming this kit, because there are programming pins over here and this is just an STC chip. Of course, when this is working, because when I made a mistake or anything, it won't work. But for now, the LEDs are done, it is soldered, it is in a 90-degree angle, somewhat. I have the feeling it is about 1 degree bent like this, unfortunately, but it is good enough. So thanks for watching for now, and see you in part 3.